How is everyone? We're live now. See who all's in the house. Dean Stevenson's here. Scott with an S, Heavens Mopar's Unfinished Project. I see Bubba is here, and Bubba is leading our No Name 500 at the moment. Mute my browser before Blake catches me leaving it on. Unfinished Project, Dart Sport. Always the right answer. Robert here. Robert's got a cool project on his truck. I wish I could see more on his channel, but he sent me some pictures. Pretty neat project on his D150. Dust Devil is here. There goes the neighborhood. Glad you're here, Brian. NSB is here. Blinko Dart folks, and so much more. Leighton Welding. Glad you're here, man. $162 customizing. Well, it's good to see you, man. Travis's Mopar Garage. Travis has been making a lot of headway on his projects. Saw part of his live carburetor deal today. Good stuff. Colleen, glad you're here. John Mounts, Wendy English, Smacky's here. Duddy, did you borrow enough Wi-Fi to be here today? I'm glad that worked out. Jeremy Finley, Roofer Extraordinaire. All right, Dizzy Izzy. Yeah, so Country Boy Gas Garage is scheduled to be here. He is working with a short window during a work day, and we'll take it. We'd like to have him on. To my knowledge, he's never been on someone else's live before, and we'd love to have him. So he's going to try to work us in on a work day, and we want to promote his upcoming trip a week from tomorrow. He's taking his 48 Ford church bus and reuniting it with the church it used to serve in Oregon. And I think that's pretty cool. So he's got some time to spare for us today. But whenever he gets here, we'll bring him in. But I like to go live on time if I possibly can, because I like to see you guys. Howdy, Buzz. Glad you're in the house. Big Mike Soupty Barn. Mr. 500, still taking his victory lap from getting his 500th subscriber. Well earned. My Aunt Nancy's here. Duddy's trying to scrape up enough Wi-Fi particles to hang around. Well, I appreciate that. Short window for a short bus. Yeah, that's actually pretty appropriate. And congratulations indeed on getting that 500. Mike has... he's worked for every one of them. Two Hacks is here. Two Hacks, by the way. Sometimes I get some behind the scenes on what these guys are doing, and he's got some pretty cool stuff to show you guys really soon. So if you're not keeping tabs on what Two Hacks is putting out, you need to be. He's got some neat stuff in the hopper. Most of the old parts and rust. I see JB's in the house. Yes, he's taking his victory laps, as he should. Buck does it. Good to see you here. I'll let Brinker. Brinker can tell us whether or not he wants me to put this on the screen. I got a pretty cool picture from him. So you guys may remember, if you watched any of the live I did yesterday, I was wearing my I Love Breaker Point shirt. My Aunt Nancy and I made that. That was a homebrewed deal there. So we got some more shirts to make if we see them on the live. All right. LP94, Don English. Glad you guys can make it. Well, right now, we are hanging out, and we're supposed to have Jason, Country Boy Gas Garage. He should come in here soon. And in the meantime, we're hanging out freestyle. And a couple of things, while it's a good time to do a little bit of housekeeping, we tried to do a good channel review on Uncle Tony's Garage Wednesday night. And we had some technology problems with audio. And it was a speaker on their end that people aren't used to using a laptop to host from that end. I get it; these things happen, but we still did a pretty good channel review, and it did what it needed to do. It got all of the No Name 500 guys across the board between 5 and 20 subscribers each. So it curved the whole graph up for those guys and brought some awareness. And while we were at it, we wanted to plug one of them. Buck does it because Buck's doing channel reviews. So we just gave a teaser of each of them. If you want more info on them, you can watch what Buck's doing. And then, of course, if you want the most info, go to their channel. Subscribe and be a regular there. We just want to try to make you aware because there's some really great content going on within the No Name 500 that you might not know about otherwise. I mean, there's some really cool stuff that not nearly enough people are watching. I mean, how many people have ever seen somebody take a Chrysler LA head, weld it up, move the push rods, make a pretty much a custom race head out of it, and you'll have a video that cool and hardly anybody sees it because they just don't know it's there. This is the reason we do this. Guys like Wasted Talent Fabrications, man, that guy is re-engineering cars to do swaps in them that he's doing over there. Fantastic. And yet, he still, I don't think, Brian, you have what, 1,000 subs? You just hit 1,000? He was doing great stuff over there with a few hundred subs and not many people watching. This is why we got to do this, to raise awareness for these guys. Yeah, Buck does Saturdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, there you go. I wasn't sure exactly what his time was, but there you go. Glad you're here, Brian. I need to reach out to you. Got a little project I think be good to get you in on. Yeah, he just hit 1,000. That's what I was thinking. I think he just hit 1,000 real recently. I don't know that he's wasted. It's wasted talent. So you have to figure that out with him, but it's a good channel. Punisher Lamons, our newest entry into the No Name Nationals. He's in the No Name 500. I believe he needs about 300 subs, but check him out. He's got an LS swapped 68 Le Mans over there. Cool stuff. Let's see here. Travis is at 862, headed to that. Yeah, Travis will get there. He'll get there in no time. Look how much quicker Travis is getting his second 500 than getting the first. So if you think you might be off the pace, just realize the pace picks up as you go. The more subscribers you have, the more lines get in the water to get you more subscribers. So if you have 8 months to get 500 subscribers and it took you 4 months to get to 250, it probably won't take you 4 more to get another 250. It might take 1 or 2. It goes quicker. So Travis will have 1,000 well before the No Name Nationals. At this rate, he'll have well over that, probably 1,500 or so. Muscle City Madness in the house. Ruben. Jason's here. Cool, man. Yep, JB's at 316. He's got it. He's got it in the bag. He made a little surge. He's got it. TMO Par 67, what are you working on? I can see there in your thumbnail. I like how everybody greets. So Ruben, you can always tell who's come in the house, because Colleen, Dean, the Dutch guys, NSB, Buck, they're all greeting Ruben. Ruben's a fun guy to be live with. I've been on his lives a number of times. Big Mike is saying getting past 500 motivated me even more. Today I updated my homepage, so check it out. Well, there you go. Go check it out. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, you guys are familiar with Big Mike. Everybody here should be subscribed to him. Auto Salvage Outlaws. Great name. Yeah, Don stopped by. You know, Don comes in late at night and sneaks into some of these lives. He's a good guy. Ruben's telling us Big Richard's World's got a new video up today. Yes, go check that out. Big Richard's been busy making content, and he's got really cool stuff over there. He's a fun guy, too, to hang out with. So check out his video. I'm looking forward to more for Big Richard's World. He's at 242. He definitely should get his 500, but it's going to take other people pitching in to help, of course. Tales from the Junkyard, how you doing? Bill McKyska. Anyone still trying to get to 500? Yes. Bill, there are 38 channels still trying to get to 500. 38 of them. Several of them are in here, like Dizzy Izzy, for example. That's one of them. JB's Little Shop. That's one of them. There's lots of others that I see regularly saying, hey, I'm trying to get to 500. That's great. But if they're not registered, they're not on my list, doesn't mean I don't want to help. I do want to help them. I've got 38 that I'm focused on right now because they're registered. And that's just kind of the way I've got to do it to prioritize the people that have put some skin in the game. Big Richard should be at 2,000. No kidding. I think Richard could get piles of subscribers really easy. Between him, he's a great personality, super cool guy, and he has really cool stuff. And he's always going on adventures. So all he needs to do is make content and he'll get there. All he's got to do. And there's Big Richard's World's link. Buzz put it up. Thanks a bunch. Yeah, check him out. I mean, it's not often that guys can go and do all this stuff. Richard, he drives a truck, and so he's always out in the world seeing all kinds of fun, cool things. And, yeah. If you're talking about Richard, Richard can be colorful. So there's your warning from Unfinished Project. But he is a fun and a good guy. He truly is. A big heart. He's a good dude. Heavens Mopar is saying, I think I may finally have an idea for a logo for my channel. It's in draft form. Oh, okay. All right. Looking forward to that. Yes, Dean says that's the kind of foul language he likes. Chickens. Speaking to chickens. Dean probably speaks to chickens. There you go. Let's see here. Auto Salvage Outlaws trying to get to 1,000. They're at 551. Well, there you go. Yeah. But you're eligible now, so guys, get registered, get something together and bring it. Come on, we'd like to meet you in Sykeston. Yeah, pretty good sized crew in here right now. Yeah, Danny Boyd. And that's the thing. We have all kinds of people on YouTube. It's all over the map. And I'm an all for free speech kind of guy. So as long as it's ethical and you don't harm others and stuff, just do whatever you want on your channel. I think it's great. We can have the kind and flavor of channels we want. JB's cooking some chicken right now. That's cool. Big Mike says, I always try to mind my language, but we'll throw no stones. Well, that's cool. Big Mike's a cool guy. Dizzy Izzy. Sorry, Travis. He missed you. Dizzy, if you guys haven't seen it, there's a video that it starts with Dallas in the staging lanes at Jeffers, and he's milling around looking for Dizzy Izzy. And he finds, and Dizzy's name's Roger. He says that on videos. It's not. So he finds Roger / Dizzy. He finds him with a cardboard sign panhandling for subs at the fence in the staging lanes at Jeffers. It's really cool. And I'll tell you, we're dead serious when we say, if you still need subscribers, you can panhandle for subs. I don't think it's a good idea to say, okay, I still need 200. I'll go stand outside the gate at Jeffers and get spectators to subscribe to me. Not a good strategy, because who knows how long that'll take. It could be quick. It could be a lot. But I'll say this, try to get your subscribers Try to get them ahead of time. But let's say you're a few short. You're not going to race with fewer than 500 subs, I'm telling you. But guess what? There's a whole lot of people coming to that event right there at the gate. You can panhandle for subs. So don't make it a primary plan, but anyway, go to your local, grocery store, sign, panhandle them for subs, right? If these professional panhandlers who all do that, there are professional panhandlers that make extremely good incomes by collecting all that tax-free money because they know exactly the right things to put on their sign. They know exactly the right things to wear and what to have and the props and the pictures, and they're pros. They are pros at this. And they're actually cheating the people who are trying to scratch by when they compete with them doing that. So if they can find these spots to stake out and do it, you guys could too. But all you're asking for is a sub, and it costs nothing. Roadkill Custom. There you go. There's the video. That was a lot of fun. Chris Albrecht talking Mopars. How you doing? Glad you're here. There you go. Freedom is our second favorite F word. Only after Ford. I know those guys love their Fords. I think that's where the Ford FE engine came from, because it probably got named that way. Right, Zed. Yeah, there you go. Dean beat me to it. I was just thinking doing it for car part money. Well, I'll tell you the panhandling for subs thing is funny because it doesn't cost anything. So I'll tell you, not saying you should do this in a place where you shouldn't, okay? But let me throw this out there. If you had a sign, and I have a QR code generator on my phone, it's an app, it's free, and you can put your YouTube channel in there, and it'll produce a QR code. You print it out, put it on your sign. If you stood by the road, a car with its window down could drive up, scan the code, subscribe to you, and not even stop all the way. I think that would be some next level guerrilla marketing for subs. But I seriously bet you could get 100 a day doing that. And it would be funny, be really funny to film. Oh, goodness. Danny Boyd, Ford guys will make you curse. It's funny because a good friend of mine, he died a few years ago. He was a Ford guy. And I think about if he were still around today, he would be loving this No Name Nationals thing. He would be all about it. And he'd be all about it. And I could see him trying to get, he's a 71 Mercury Comet that left on the back bumper and didn't touch the front tires down to about third gear. And ran down in the eights in the quarter. It was a gear jammer car. And as much fun as it would be making content with him, I mean, half your production time would be the beat button. He was a great guy, though. Excellent. Look at this. Buzz has the QR codes made for the No Name 500 channels right there. You don't even have to generate them. He's got them for you right there. And you can print that to paper. You can do them a sticker. But that is an easy way for people to scan. So that would be the way to do it if you truly want to do the panhandling for subs. And the big thing is it's a fun way to do it. You could film it and you get to interact with people. Did it at a car show. I just think it's a great idea. And Dallas and I were talking about it with Rogers. Like, I don't know why nobody's done that, because it's just fun. It's just pure fun, which is what this is all about. And Big Mike went to do business cards. That was a big help too. Layton's up to 78. Excellent. Yes, that I believe Mike said that. I think that was the live we had him on. Yep. Mike showed us the cards. The people who are taking Buzz's advice are definitely getting there quicker. We've pretty much proven that concept. The Mavericks and Comets do make a good drag car. Yeah. So my buddy's was it was a screaming 331-inch small block, made a pile of power, and the car eventually got to where the frame was a little twisted. It was just a rowdy gear jammer car, and all of that came out in '88 and went to the big block, and yeah. But it was a 71 Comedy drove in high school, and it just kept getting faster and faster and became unstreetable and all of that. See, check this. This is what we're talking about. Scott says, I got a haircut today. Told her about the No Name Nationals and gave me a sub. There you go. You're all you guys can absolutely get there. Some of you got a little further to go than others, but it is definitely doable for everybody. There's not one channel registered that can't do it, for sure. And that's the winning attitude. That's what's going to do it. The best attitude and the best hustle will overcome the content. If you have both, sky's the limit. Danny Boyd says first car was a post-rocket Olds 350. Man, that's stuff I know next to nothing about. They're cool, though. And Danny Boyd's last sub was one from Jimmy John's. Well, there you go. We have Firehouse and Subway here, so we're spoiled. And Jimmy John's, too. Layton says he'll get there in 109 or 110 days. Well, day number 111, if you're in the East, you've got 3 hours and 37 and a half minutes left in day number 111. So, and that's till D-Day. That doesn't count your traveling time. So that's about what you've got, Layton. That's about right. T.I. Mopar says, I started my channel in April. I record car shows until I get a Mopar. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people just starting out, and there are all kinds of different places in their journey. So, yeah, there's all kinds of content you can make if you think about it. There's all kinds of stuff between what's in your shop, what your friends have, car shows, things you're doing daily, stuff you see out on the road. There's all kinds of things you can do. So when you can't do one thing, make use of the others. In fact, that's what this show is. I'm not making as much content right now because of that house remodel. And so I've done more with lives. And so, that's just kind of how it works. Not enough people have utilized the power of Facebook groups, not just to promote, but also the No Name Nationals. I agree. Promoting his project was worth 100 subscribers. Yes, I watched Chris's channel jump about 100 subscribers at once. Really impressive. Layton says he's only an hour and a half away. Well, that is to your advantage because that's going to cost you a lot less than fuel. That's a good place to be. JB saying throw this drag race night up. Just enjoy it. Cool. Tall Garage is in the house. Mike says I include some pretty ridiculous things. People keep watching. You're talking to the guy that put up a short like Cousin Eddie with the hose coming out of the van into the trunk of a Buick, right? Ridiculous stuff is what makes the world go around. Mrs. Dust Devil in the house. How you doing? Tall Ken of Tall Garage. Right on talking mopars. Well, Chris is generally right on. That's what he does. And we're getting some subscribers for TI Mopar 67. Cool. I like people getting subs. Just understand if you want to maximize the help you get, for us to kind of keep you on the tip of the spear with getting your subscribers, we need to have that commitment to your event. Just go in and register because that sets so many things in motion. When you go to the site, nonamenationals.com, redirects you to the Square store, what happens then is you go in, you register. Then the registration comes to me. When the registration comes to me, I put you in the book. When I put you in the book, I write it down. I take note of your subs. I put you in the list of the No Name 500, which goes to Dallas, which goes to Buzz. I forward on the info to Buzz in case you guys want to get help, get the banners up, that kind of thing. Then we know, who out there might want to come to a content creator workshop. Then we can kind of see, hey, this person's doing this and there's something we can help, and reach out to them and say, hey, can we do this for you or that for you or something like that? So getting registered is a big benefit. It helps get you on a lot more people's radars, and I've not seen anybody that wouldn't benefit of getting there faster through registration. It's a big help. And the guys who got there quickly and early, like Travis's Mopar Garage, it's exactly what he did. Mostville Parts is $339. Yeah, he's getting close. They're closing for good tomorrow. Travis, what are you talking about? Memphis? Oh, this is really cool. This is super cool. Chris is saying my offer still stands for Mopar owners to come on the podcast and share their journey. Probably worth a couple subs at least. Well, yeah, you know what? Those of you who haven't checked it out and aren't familiar, Chris's show is called Talking Mopars, and he has a YouTube channel. He's got his subscribers to go to the No Name Nationals, but where he has a huge presence is on Facebook. So great show. Chris he's a great host. Go check out Talking Mopars, and if he's offering that to you, you should take him up on it. That's a big offer for him to put out there. And I think it's more than a few subs too, by the way. A lot of people here are recommending Vistaprint for No Name 500 guys that want to get their business cards. That's, I know a lot of people that use Vistaprint. I have a local sign shop that does cards for us, and I don't have any just for my channel, but a lot of people are very satisfied with Vistaprint, and they were one of the earlier companies doing lots of affordable business cards. They had a lot of experience, so I can see where they have better competitive prices. So not recommending anybody. I'm just saying I've probably seen at least 10 people in the last week recommend Vistaprint for their cards. Travis's Mopar Garage, when is the podcast? You can go and see what his schedule is over there on his channel, and when he drops his new episodes. They're and the way he hosts them, they're good and listenable too. So you don't have to catch them right when they come out. You can listen to them on your schedule. He does a great job with that. But I'll tell you, you really ought to go on the show. Big Mike, I don't have Facebook either. I know it's a really cool thing to have, but I don't. All right, guys. Jason's in the house. Let's welcome him. How's it going, Jason?
Going good. How's it going, John?
All right. Thanks for joining us. We're really fortunate to have Jason. He has sneaked out of his work obligations for a little bit just to join us. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time you've been a guest on a live, isn't it?
Very first time, yes.
Well, we're honored. We're honored. Thank you so much for being here. We got lots of folks in the house. And if you guys have any questions for Jason, go ahead and pop them up. I'll pop questions up on the screen, but I'll go ahead and start off. So to bring people up to speed, Jason, he is next weekend is reuniting his 48 Ford church bus with the church that it used to serve. So you can fill in the backstory. How in the world did you get a 48 Ford church bus?
Well, it's the bus itself sat for 25 years up in the forest, and it happened to be on private land. So that's what kept it preserved, because if it would have been available to anybody or the public, it would have been parted out or destroyed or saved by somebody else or something. But it sat there in the forest, and I rent property up there. And so my landlord is the one that said, hey, have you seen the bus out in the forest? And me and my wife had already been talking about wanting to get a cool old bus or something like that. So when he said that, it piqued our interest, and we walked out there, and found it. And as soon as I saw it, I knew it was something special, being, such an old age, um, a unique looking bus, the perfect size. And it was fairly complete, which is, that's what was the turning point, was that, I mean, it was all there almost. It, uh, and then, but I was thinking that, by 25 years, there's not going to be a title available, or we won't be able to get a hold of the owner. I asked the landlord, do you know if the owner would be interested in selling it or not? And he said it belonged to his friend, and he'd ask him. And it was only like 3 or 4 days later, he called back and said, yeah, he's interested in selling the bus, and he's got the title. And it was that
Nice.
easy. That easy. So I quickly made the deal and purchased it. And that's when I started the YouTube, was that very first video where I go explore the bus. That was like the second time I ever filmed myself. And I just started the YouTube and the bus journey from there. And I didn't really know where I was going to go. I didn't know it was a church bus when I found it. But it's just kind of developed as we've gone now.
Now, I've seen the pictures and the early videos before you cleaned it up. I mean, it looked like nature was trying to reclaim it, but it cleaned up so well. It doesn't look like it got a lot of rust or anything. How was the state of preservation when you cleaned it up?
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing point too, because when you see it sitting there in the forest the way it was, it looked pretty decrepit. There was little trees growing off of it and ferns, and there's still rats living in it. And so I knew that it was going to be rough shape, but after I drove it out of the forest and we cleaned it, it was amazing, as I was cleaning it, how much of that just came off, and it was still good underneath. Most of the damage was done by the rats, them chewing everything up, and their urine and shit kind of rusting stuff up and like
Yeah.
that. But as far as the bus itself, though, like uh most of it was aluminum, so that helped it from rusting away. And I don't know, maybe being tucked in the forest out of the sun with the moss over it kind of helped blanket it too. I don't know. But it was amazing to wash it and have it come that clean and be that good looking afterwards.
Now, I know you drove it out of the woods, which I thought was amazing. When you first saw that, what odds did you give that you were going to be able to make that run and drive it out?
I had my fingers crossed the whole time.
I bet.
I knew it was complete. So, you pop the hood and the motor's there, but all the wires are chewed, and it was a rat's nest. The motor was where the rats were mostly living. So it was a rat's nest you couldn't even close the hood, and it went
Wow.
all the way to the ground. It was just all debris just packed in there. And I had to bring a generator and a shop vac out into the forest, and went and cleaned all that out of there. And most of the brake lines and the plug wires and the fuel lines, most of the heater hoses, all that stuff was degraded, but everything was still there. It still had the air cleaner on the carb. So I was like, there's a slight chance. And I've done it before where I've taken an old truck and, brought it back to life. So I knew there was a little bit of hope, but it was about the worst possible candidate to get. And it was rusted lock solid. It took a while to get it to free up. And I was
So
able
the
to get it
engine
to.
wouldn't turn over.
It wouldn't. No, it was completely
Wow.
rusted, and it wouldn't even turn over. I put oil in all the cylinders and let it soak, and I kept trying it with a ratchet off the front of the crank, and I ended up splitting the crank washer. It just wouldn't turn. But I was determined, so I went underneath and got a pry bar on the crank, and started turning it, and it started moving. But I didn't realize I was actually bending push rods. The valve train was just so
Oh,
rusted. It was
wow.
the valve train was what was rusted up, and I bent 2 push rods doing that. But in that, it was a process, and I figured that out, and I replaced those and put a starter on it, dumped gas down the carb. I had to throw some spark plug wires on it, and it fired up out there in the forest. And I just started, going from there. It didn't run very good, of course, but then I rebuilt the carburetor and put new plug wires on it and stuff, and it actually ran fairly good from that point on. And then it was just, I had to go through and get the brakes freed up, and then the clutch freed up, and eventually got it to where it would drive. I had to cut down a few trees and make a path because there was there was no road anymore. Everything had grown up around it, but and drove it out of there under its own power.
I mean, it is the greatest story. It's the greatest story. And so you got all this stuff ready to move. How many trips did you have to make back and forth into the woods to until you got to where you could drive it out?
Well, I was lucky because it was probably only, I mean, it was less than a half a mile from my house. So I was able to go out there and work and then be able to take a lunch break and go home and grab more tools if I needed them and head back. Like it was a, you know, regular routine going back and forth to the bus, until I was able to get it out of there.
Colleen Tebow said, side note, domesticated rats are the best pets for kids under 3 versus hamsters. I probably could have lived to be 112 and never known that. We have an interesting community here. What can I say? Good stuff.
I had one rat ran out of the bus as I was driving out of there. They were still running out of it.
The bus is something that you're probably best known for on YouTube. I think that's fair to say, is the bus. But you have other cool stuff too. So I've seen some of your other things, in your videos. Why don't you tell these guys what other kind of things you do when you're not working on 48 Ford buses?
Well, I'm mostly a Chevy guy. I've got several Chevys and I've been driving them forever. So this is actually my first Ford. I'm still learning. But when I started the channel right before I found the bus, I'd thought I was either going to, feature my Nova. So I drive a 70 Nova, and I've had that car for 31 years now. I bought that 1970 Nova in 1991 when I was 16 for $200, and I drove that in high school. And then in my 20s, I motor swapped it and fixed it up, put it in the car shows, and won a couple little project vehicle trophies and stuff. And and it's pretty rough shape these days, 32 years later, and I've had kids and stuff, so it's been neglected. But every once in a while I'll pull it out and drive it, and it's like a time capsule getting it back in, 32, 31, 32 years later, still driving the same car. So that's the one that me and my family usually take to the car shows and go to the cruises and enjoy. And I am going to introduce another car to the channel very soon too. We've been doing the bus for a while, but and we'll continue to do it. But I'm going to bring in another vehicle too. I've got a 1959 Chevy El Camino that is pretty much a field find. I bought it a few years ago, straight out of the field. It'd been sitting, and I've just parked it, and it's been sitting there waiting. So I've got that ready to go. So that'll be another one. Will be on the channel soon. I got a rat rod too.
What are you thinking of doing on this El Camino? Because of course there's 100 flavors. You can finish one up. What are your thoughts?
Well, I've been looking around and I haven't seen any other 59 El Camino projects on any YouTube channel. So if anybody has any 59 El Camino projects or know of any, shoot me the link, because I'm interested. I've been searching for other people's projects. I find Impalas and other year El Caminos, but except for Ryan at Iowa Classics, he does them. But I don't know. I think I'm going to kind of continue with what the previous owner done. It used to be somebody's hot rod. It looks like he's lowered it. It's got like a bar grill on it. So whoever this gentleman was that used to own it had hopped it up some. It's got dual exhaust in there. There's no motor transmission, but it's got a 59 Impala interior with a stainless steel dash. So it's got a few odds and ends and upgrades and stuff that somebody did probably 30 years ago. And so I'll probably continue with whatever, it's another V8 is going to go in it. It's already lowered, so I'll probably, figure out rims and tires. It's pretty rough as far as rust goes, and I don't really know if I'm prepared to restore it per se, but I do want to revive it and get it on the road. So it might be kind of a rat rod theme at first, patina paint.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, there are too many cars, I think, that suffer not being complete, and they get into paralysis because people say, well, it's not done. And when I paint it, that's when, and then of course, as you know, that day never comes.
Yeah.
So good for you for getting out and enjoying it like it is.
Yeah. I figured that at least get it back on the road and get it to that stage. Because if I wait to restore it, the day may never come.
That's right. We're not, none of us are promised tomorrow. That's how it works. Okay. Those are all the good things that you're known for and should be known for. And then there was that channel debacle. And I don't, and not a lot of people know, but we all need to, of course, safeguard our channels. And you know, we had one of those wake up call moments. You had a 20,000 subscriber channel on the line and had some piracy. So for people who didn't follow that, I followed that, and I was, you know, really, I was having my fingers, I'm hoping for you, because that was a tough situation.
Yeah, it was.
Tell these people kind of what happened, because a lot of people don't realize that piracy and theft go on not only like people stealing things out of your cars and so forth. Everybody's familiar with that kind of crime and stealing, but it also can happen in the internet itself with YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, well, what happened was I'd got an email from somebody that wanted to do partnership, you know, and I was answering all those at first. I was kind of naive, you know, and so I get all these emails of people saying, hey, we'll send you this product if you do a short video on it. And I did that on a few, and they all turned out good. You know, a jump starter pack, or super clean, or, you know, there's a few of them. You know, I got some shop lights and stuff. But little did I know that a lot of those were, you know, they were scams. And finally I clicked on one that was, it was I guess a malicious malware of sorts. Anyway, they wanted me to click on a link so they could show me some product that they want to do me a commercial with. And
so it looked legitimate. It looked like a demo link or something.
It did. And I even, before I clicked on it, I Googled the company, and it was a legit company, but the email itself was fraud. They'd stolen the images and the names of the other company and stuff. So it looked legit. And I suppose now in hindsight, if you were a little more tech savvy, you could have probably figured it out. But I was kind of naive, and I just clicked away. And as soon as I clicked on the link, it was instantly, I was locked out of my Google account instantly. And I didn't know sure what was going on at first, but any kind of getting back into my Google account, it didn't recognize me at all. All the login information and passwords and the backup stuff, all that was just, it all instantly had changed instantly. And I couldn't get into Google at all. And then I realized how that's connected to my YouTube. So I instantly tried to get to my YouTube, and I couldn't get into it, and it didn't recognize me at all. And so that's when I started panicking. And you know, so I was able to get onto a computer and check out YouTube and see that my channel was still there. My videos were there, but the name was different. And they started running a live stream. It was now I'm spacing the name of it, but it was about Bitcoin.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah. And they started playing a live stream, and I still didn't know what to, you know, so YouTube, you know, I wanted to get in contact with YouTube and Google, but there isn't really a hotline or a phone number you can call. There's not even customer service. There's like a feedback email at the bottom. So I did some feedback emails and stuff, no response or nothing. I spent all night on YouTube searching other channels that this had happened to, trying to figure out something. It was a very scary and desperate feeling that night, not being able to get in. And other channels had said you could get a hold of YouTube easier through Twitter. So I started a Twitter account, and they did actually respond to that within a few hours. So that was the way to go. But by the next morning, they had deleted the channel, my channel. It didn't even exist anymore. What, the
scammers deleted your channel?
No, YouTube did, because YouTube didn't realize that it was hijacked. You know, they changed the name and they started playing that content. And for whatever content they were playing that live stream, it was breaching YouTube's
Ah,
terms of agreement. And so by morning they'd caught on. I don't know how quickly they caught on to that, but they deleted the channel for breaching their terms of agreement, not knowing that it was my channel. And then it took a couple weeks of I think it took 3 days back and forth with Twitter before they even finally connected me to the Google support. Like
oh my
they
goodness.
they tried to do the basic stuff, but they were still thinking that I just that I couldn't get logged in because I had lost my password or something. I tried to tell them, no, they changed all that. Anything that I tried to use was coming up empty, and I tried to tell them it was because they changed. I saw when I was trying to do my login, I could actually see the login stuff switch to something different. Some of the letters are hazed out,
Right.
but I could see that it was different. So I told him that, and that did help. Eventually, I was it 3 weeks, I think, 3 weeks of back and forth. They finally figured it out. Um, so
How did they figure out it was you? What swayed them to convince them, hey, I am really the lawful owner of this account?
well, what it was all my login information switched. I could see my login information switched from what I used to Stinky Pinky at Gmail. For whatever reason, I don't know whoever Stinky Pinky is.
It's only funny now. It wasn't funny at the time.
No, I was pissed at Stinky Pinky, but but I kept telling YouTube that and Google that, and eventually what actually helped was they told me, and I suggested too. I said, because it's all via email. I said I'm going to make a video of what I'm having trouble with. My login, I'll video I explained to everything to them in a video. I showed them what I was doing in my login process and what it was telling me, what it's prompting me to do, and how that was failing. And then I would upload it to YouTube as a private video, and then share the link to them, and then they could go and watch the video. And they said that helped greatly. And back and forth a few days of doing that, and then them realizing, they said, okay, yes, you need to try the Stinky Pinky login information. And we used the hijacker's name login, and it was able to let us in that way. And then they had me
Oh,
switch it all back to mine.
they helped you hijack it back from him.
Pretty much, yes.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize how y'all wound up doing that.
Yeah,
That's neat.
yeah, I don't want to go through that again. It was, and a lot of it, I take a lot of the responsibility myself. I was naive. I didn't have backups of my stuff because, well, I do most of my stuff from my phone. So once I do a video, I don't have space to do the next video. So
Right.
A lot of that stuff I was erasing it. I do have Google Photos, and I would get some copies to Google Photos, but my Google account was hijacked. I couldn't get in my Google Photos, so that was my only backup. But now I've taken care of that. Now I've got backups now.
To give a little context to some of you guys who in the comments who may not realize this, when you say have a channel hijacked or your content, this is a lot bigger deal than just not being able to put up content or somebody else changing the name or whatever or taking the time. You had a 19,000 and change subscriber channel. That's a monetized channel. And, there's that many subscribers, you're getting a significant amount of your project money that you need for buying bus parts and things from your channel. And you need that. And that really hurts your content creation and everything. And that's no small thing.
Another big thing with that is because I didn't have backups of all those videos, all that content. I didn't even know if I would be able to continue if I had to start over, because how would I continue the story if I couldn't even show anybody what we did? I was really weighing, if I couldn't get my stuff back, I didn't know how I was going to continue. I mean, I kept continuing, but in the back of my mind, I was like, how am I going to continue with this story if I can't show people what we did? So it was definitely a desperate feeling. I was like, because I had been building a story. And that's another thing that's great about this whole bus series is even like right now, my very first video is still getting views every day. along with the whole series, because as soon as somebody watches one of the videos, they go and binge watch all the other ones to figure out where we're at. So even my very first video is still getting views every day, which I think is a great thing. It's a whole
Let me
series that's being watched.
let me ask you something. So you're of course you rallied through that. I was really worried for you. I remember when it happened. I mean, I reached out to you and I'm like, man, I don't know what we can do to help, but we got to help you. And if you wind up starting over a new channel, I'll share it, do whatever I can do to help you get it back, because that is way too much work and investment of your life to just have it taken that way. And
Yeah.
it's a big deal. It's a big. I mean, look, these guys that have put so much effort into making their first 500 subscribers, imagine carrying it to 19,000 and having it taken away. So I'm glad it's back. So something else, I know that, and we want to respect your time when you need to peel out of there. I'm sure you got work to do, and they might be looking for you. So just,
But I think I'm, for the most part, I'm good. My boss did leave. That is my work back there. There's the pool. I work in a gated community. I'm like maintenance. I run the pool and everything. But I think we're good for a little bit.
okay. Well, so something I want to throw out there: your bus is being reunited with the church it used to serve. How long ago in the past did it serve that church? Do they have pictures of it, or how much do they still have or remember that bus?
Well, we're still figuring that out. So I didn't even know it was a church bus when I bought it, and then when we got it out, I didn't know that the church was still around. But I thought in my mind it'd be great to figure out the history. And then in one of my videos, I finally figured out that they were around, and I mentioned that in my video, and that I thought it'd be great if we could contact them. And it didn't take long for the church to reach out to me. I think somebody shared the video with them before I
Huh?
got a chance to. Somebody beat me to
Really?
them. Because and the funny thing is, so the pastor Jeff, he told me when he saw the video first, he didn't believe that it was Safford Church, their church. It couldn't be the same church. They have no history of it or know anything of it at
Huh.
this point. Um, you know, but he saw in the video the phone number on the side of the church, and that was still the office phone number. And
Wow.
so
That
he
number on the
called.
side is still it?
Yep. And he called me from that number. So I remember when the phone number was ringing, looking at my phone, going, "That's the number on the bus. The bus is calling me right now." It's crazy. But so Jeff, he's been pastor for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years or something like that. I can't remember. But this bus was from the church from back in the 50s and 60s, long before anybody that's there now, except for we did figure out one member does remember riding that bus as a child. That's still
Wow.
at the church. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, so they didn't know that it belonged to them until they saw the phone number, and then we got in contact. Um, and then since then, I have learned a little more history. Um, I made a local Facebook post about what I was doing, just before and after picture of the bus with a short, brief, you know, history of what I was doing, and I made a Facebook post on the local Lane County, that's where I live, Facebook post, and it blew up. Kind of everybody loved the before and after picture, and knowing that I was going to try to get it back to the church to show them what we'd found and
Right.
stuff. Um, and that got really a lot of popular, and a few people reached out to me, and through that, I got in contact with a few other people that had some history on the bus. Um, I think two other people that used to ride the bus recognized it, and then they shared that information, my post, with a couple people, and one of them commented that he was a trustee of the church in the 70s, and he remembers that bus and the pastor of the church, previous and up to that point, so the 50s, 60s, and 70s, was the one that actually did the mechanical work on that bus and was in charge of painting it, and he drove it.
Oh,
I'm
how neat.
I'm gonna get some more of this information when we do the reunion. I forget his first name, but they called him Mr. Angel. He was something Angel. He was the pastor of the church, and he was the one that they pulled the flathead out and put the Y block in it. They repainted it.
Wow.
they did a lot of he did a lot of work. Him and somebody else back in the 60s did a lot of work to make that bus what it is, and they drove it around and picked all the kids up and took them to Bible school. So I love that history.
The
You know, and I
pastor is the one that put the engine in it. I wondered who did that.
yeah, him and somebody else was responsible for it. And I've reached out to that gentleman that commented that, and I've had other people reach out to him, but I haven't got in contact with him myself for sure yet. He's got to be probably 80 or 90 himself, and through Facebook, they're not very Facebook savvy at that age. And so I'm hoping maybe he'll show up at the reunion, because I'd love to pick his brain more and figure out more.
I want to throw something out there, while you're still with us. I'm going to be on here. I'm usually go live about 2 hours. I understand, Jason, you got work to do. You're sneaking away to join us, so you need to peel out whatever you do. That's cool. But if we wind up getting any super chats tonight, I'm going to contribute them to your fuel fund to take that bus to the reunion.
Hey, thanks.
It's going to be really expensive. Gas where you are is what, $6 a gallon?
5 something.
And I know that you're digging in your own pocket to make that happen for those folks. So should we get any, I'm not asking anybody to dig into their own pocket for money they don't have. I'm just saying, we get any super chats tonight, they're going to go to Country Boy Gas Garage's fuel fund for the church reunion. The church reunion is not tomorrow, but the next Saturday. And there is a community post up on his channel. And I'm looking forward to footage of that. I think it's so cool. I love stories like that. And I'm anxious to see that reunion happen. So glad you're making it happen. How cool.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that.
And Buzz, who is just awesome. I should have known, because Buzz is the most generous guy. And Buzz has kicked over $100 for it. So
oh, wow. Thank you.
And also, for what it's worth, we know Super Chat takes a chunk. I'm going to cover the chunk. So that'll be my contribution. So
oh, man. Thank you.
That 30% I'm going to pick up. So whatever they are in gross will go to, I'll send it to you via PayPal. And then that way you and your family aren't digging in your pockets to get the bus there. So
awesome. I appreciate that, guys.
Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, Big Mike. Thank you, Buff. Thanks a bunch. It's going to really help them. Now, one other thing I want to ask, and I know this is like, we just talked about climbing the Empire State Building. Now we're going to talk about climbing Mount Everest. I know that you want to come out to the No Name Nationals.
Yes.
We'd love for you to be there. Okay. We want to meet you. If the bus could get there, that would be like a wonderful surprise. I know that's like that's a lot of logistics and fuel and everything else. So if we get to that point, we'd love to see that happen too, but we want you to come to the No Name Nationals. So what's your tentative plans to attend, even if you're flying or that kind of thing? Do you need any help on our end just so you can come out and enjoy the event?
Well, I've been so consumed with the church trip. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into the details, but I know I want to be there. And, I've got the bus registered. It would be awesome to get the bus there. I thought about driving it. I thought about shipping it, which, all of that's a lot of money that I can't really afford. But, I still putting it out there. If anything, I'll fly there and I'll just be there in person. And, and I figured out along the way, I did mention to Brad at Poor Boy's Garage that if he needed any help, I'd be there for him. I'd be his pit man. So, I'll just mingle and hang out and help everybody if I can. But if I can get the bus there, I think that would be awesome too. If I had more time, I would definitely drive it. I'd join the caravan of people going.
Well, I'll tell you, we love cars, but the most important thing is we want to meet you. Okay. We will hopefully have opportunities to see your bus at some time, but like I said, none of us are promised tomorrow. So we want to meet you. So I'm hoping you can get there and don't say, well, I won't go if I can't take the bus. So we hope you can come in, and if we need to make that happen, pick you up at airport, whatever, we'll do it.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be, I'll figure out some more details and I'll get in contact with you and we'll figure that, because I'm going to need hotel, figure all that out. And I think it'll be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna touch on, so that this community is amazing, and I have never seen it more amazing than it is right now. So let's just hit on some of these super chats. Roadkill Customs, $100. the $100, I mean, that goes a long way toward your fuel bill. That fuel bill is going to be expensive. I mean, there's no. How much do you think it would take? I mean, that won't even get you close to the church with that bus. I'm guessing that's a long way and a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
So and Big Mike he's kicked in a gallon. Buff's Garage kicked in a couple gallons. Unity Motorsports Garage has kicked in a few gallons. We have 2 hacks. Pickerwood Customs, that's 20 Australian. 20 Australian. What does that convert to, Aaron? About 500,000 US dollars, something close. He's in Australia, but thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you.
And you know what? That's coming from a guy that I can't imagine what his freight's going to be. He's going to fly here for that event from Australia.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to meeting him in person.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. This is going to be great.
Five Canadian from Shopcat, $9.99 from Buck Does It, and $50 from the guys from NSB Custom Cars. I mean, that is, guys, I really appreciate that. Yeah, Buzz has got you a tally there. Drag Pack Merc, Tim Moore. So you're sitting on about $230. I really hope that offsets your fuel bill.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. This is going to help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a guy that who knows how much revenue he lost while his channel was down. I mean, he lost more than that. So this is directly going to help him make this reunion happen. And I'll tell you, think about this. Thanks, Joe. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. What this is doing is he pulls this bus out of the woods. He takes it to this church. What are the odds that a young person is going to watch this story and become interested in cars as a result of this? The odds are extremely high. So you look at this cool story, you look at the good example it sets, and then, of course, you've got good role models. That's how you get youth off on the right foot, continuing the art and passion that we have for cars. Stuff like this. So I think getting that bus there means a lot more than just content. It's an experience. It's worth doing.
Well, I took it for its first test drive today. I mean, I've taken it up and down the driveway, but today it was legal to drive it, and I wanted to get it on the road. So I took it and I drove it to the gas station, and then I drove it to my daughter's school and picked her up from school in the bus today. And all the kids came out, and they were taking pictures with the bus, and it was pretty exciting. Just for a small little town, but everybody loved that bus, seeing it there at the school. So I think, it's all been on YouTube for the last year, but now that I'm starting to get it out into the public and actually meet people in person and show it in person, that's really exciting too. There's a car show coming up locally on the July 23rd, Emerald City Shakedown, that I'm going to be putting it at. And so anybody in Oregon, they try to make it and come, because it's fun seeing people see it in person. It's
that bus makes me smile. I am so glad that you have it, because there's so many scavengers that could have gotten it. There's so many people that would have just taken the engine transmission, pirated it for scrap, let it rust. There's so many fates that bus could have experienced. And instead, it held out and got discovered by the right person. And that makes me just so happy. And
that's awesome.
And you saved the paint. And the thing about saving the paint that's so cool is that paint has a very long story and history. By not painting it, that is the exact paint you see in the photos. That is the phone number they stenciled. That is the name they stenciled. So it's just like a window straight into the past with no filter. Yeah, you just wash the dirt off, and there it is. Yeah, I hope somebody winds up putting that bus in a movie someday. They really should do that.
Yeah, somebody said that it looks like it should be in a movie.
It should.
I feel a little blessed to be the one that's got to work on it and save it, because after acquiring it, I did speak to the previous owner, and he tried to get it running and failed. They wanted to get it out of there 25 years ago, and it wouldn't run for them. And the fact that I came along 25 years after that, and it actually did work out for me. I don't want to get too religious, but a lot of this has been kind of divine, almost the way things have just fallen into place and worked out. so many things, you know.
They're not getting it running was actually the right thing. That may have in the end worked out to be exactly the right thing. Their failure that day wound up to be the success overall.
Yeah.
You couldn't have written a better, ending for this bus.
Yeah. And, there's still so much story to go. We haven't even, this is just the
Right.
first part of it. I mean, hopefully when we do the reunion, I get to sit down with some of those elders or one of the people that know more about it and really find out more. Because, yeah, I just love history of vehicles, and having this one does tell a story. So yeah, and the church is excited about it too. These people, the church, most of them, they've seen a few pictures of it, but they're excited to know that their church used to have this cool bus. So I drove up to the church the other day just to find the path, because I have never been there before. I need to figure out, and it is so beautiful up there. It's old farming town area with the green hills. I mean, it's almost picture perfect when we showed up to the church. And the fact that the bus used to drive up and down those roads, I'm excited to bring it home. Just to, it gets me, choked up thinking about it too. This is so exciting. So I feel blessed to be the one to participate in this.
If, and I know this is a big if that bus winds up in Sykeston, can we ride in the pits? Make a little tour around the 22 acres. If you want to, we'd love to have you you can make a parade lap or any kind of lap you want down the track, so that you have that video, that picture to put in the bus's scrapbook that it went down a
Absolutely.
drag in its life. Wouldn't that be cool?
Very cool. Yes,
How many
absolutely.
48 Ford buses got to do that in their lifetime? Isn't that neat?
That'd be blast.
Absolutely. Do you guys have any questions for Jason? We also want to thank Zero G Mopars. Thank you so much. Every little bit helps, and for those of you guys who are blessed enough to have a little bit to spare, we greatly appreciate it. This is going to go a long way toward helping him. This is part of why I wanted to get him on here before the event with the church. So we knew today would be a little tight. You have work and stuff, but I wanted to promote the event where the bus is going to the church. I think it's not about if you're a Ford guy. It's not about if you're a bus guy. It's not about if you're a church guy or any of that. What this is about is if you care about automotive culture and history, this should appeal to you. This is a prime example of preserving that and getting young people interested in our hobby. And so this is a big deal. And it's interesting to all those other people for all those other reasons too. But that's why I wanted to be able to promote this before the event. And also I'm glad that we could get him some gas money, because you're digging deep in your pockets. That's not a small project right there. I mean, I'm sure that all the parts are scaled up on price too.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, John. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you a lot. Any of you guys in the chat have any questions? This is a rare treat to get Jason on. This is the first time he's been a guest on someone else's live, and I'm honored to have him on here. So yeah, and Buzz is not kidding. I thank you for doing the counting on that, Buzz. 254.98 from this awesome community. So whatever it is in gross, I'm gonna shoot it over to Jason via PayPal, and hopefully that makes the trip a little less grit in your teeth when you got that nozzle in there waiting, hoping it'll hurry up and cut off.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Everybody's getting their cars ready. Now, my Aunt Nancy says, have him back again. You're absolutely welcome to come back again. So if sometime down the stretch you want to come back, if you got more, stuff to report, whether it's the bus or something else, we'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you want to pick some oddball time during the week, I do my very best to not conflict with other channels. We've got a lot of automotive channels going live, but if we can pick some unusual time to just spontaneously go live and socialize, that'd be cool too. You're always welcome here. So I've been wanting to get you on as a guest for a long time now. I'm glad it finally worked out.
Thanks. Yeah, I've only done a couple lives myself, and I kind of fumble through them. So I kind of I might try to do a live from the church when I get there.
Great.
It's still not a guarantee I'm going to make it because I've only taken the bus on one trip, and it's pulling a bunch of stuff through the gas and stuff like that from the tank, and so I still got work to do, and it's coming up like next week. So I'm still like I spent all day working on it today. It's going to be down to the wire. I think I've watched too many episodes of Roadkill Garage. I think that's what I wanted to take it back there before I knew it was ready, but the bus wants to go, and I think I've hit all the important parts. If it's bad gas, I'm going to bring a bunch of extra filters with me. We'll one way or the other, we'll make it. It might be, it might not be a smooth trip, but we'll get there.
You might take a 5-gallon can and a length of hose. It's got a mechanical pump, right? So that
Yeah.
could be your backup if you have a problem.
So that's how I got it out of the forest, was a little electric pump and a gas can, and I'm going to carry that with me in case. Yeah.
So Nolan wants to know what size Y block. And for those of you unfamiliar with a Ford, with Chevys and Mopars, you have big blocks and small blocks. Well, Ford has a bunch of stuff. Okay, and one of theirs is the Y block, which was the 1950s V8, like Thunderbirds and stuff had. And I'm not a Ford guy, but tell them about that engine because it isn't native to the bus.
No, and I'm still learning the Ford stuff as we go. And originally that bus had a flathead in it. And then what it's got now is it's a 1957 Ford Y block. And the previous owner, when I purchased it from him, he was pretty adamant that the motor was a 312 Y block. And he has it written on the firewall in Sharpie from 25 years ago, a 312 with the firing order and all the information there. But then after buying parts and researching it and stuff, everybody's saying it's highly unlikely that it's a 312. It's probably the 292.
Okay.
And I know after doing work on the valves, they had these little caps on the exhaust valve. So I know that makes it an HD truck version. So I know it's a 57 Y block HD truck motor. I just don't know if it's a 292 or a 312.
Well, that's a good thing about YouTube is a lot of these guys will know. So,
And
there's
from my
plenty of
research and from what everybody's saying, that the only way to really find out is you got to get inside the motor and get inside of it to find out. But we're even finding out that the transmission is a larger transmission than what would have came on that motor also. And so it's kind of a hodgepodge together with a bunch of parts. So that must have been the church in the 50s and 60s pulling all kinds of parts together, a running, a motor, transmission, and bus, all from different stuff together.
Well, I'm guessing that the bus would have probably had a big non-synchro gearbox of some kind, and it
I think
probably
so.
is. It's either the original transmission or it's just one out of a bigger F-Series truck, like an F5, 6 Series, something like that. That'd be my guess, but that's really cool.
I think it's that's what. So I've been getting lots of my parts and information from Chuck, from Chuck's Trucks. He's in Connecticut, and he doesn't do YouTube or nothing, but he does restore these old F5 buses. He's got an old wrecker, a 4-wheel drive wrecker, 48 F5. He's got an old fire truck, I think, but he restores these, and he's been a big help. I'd send him a photo of something, and he'll tell me what I got, and then he'll send me the product. And he's been excited about the whole thing too, because he restores these, and he says he says he buys these buses that are abandoned in the forest, and they fall apart when he drags them out.
Oh, wow.
And the fact that I got this one running and drove it out with that rat infested motor, he still can't believe it either. But Chuck's been a great help with this, and so I give him a shout out.
Big Mike Soupty Barn makes a good suggestion. Ask Bear Rose Garage about it. That's right up his alley. He works with that vintage of Ford, lots of experience. Bear Rose Garage. He's one of our new 500 guys.
I think we have talked a couple little times, so I do need to shoot him a few more questions too.
Yeah, he would likely know. One other thing too, you talk about dragging cars out of the woods. I have a friend who had some property next to a speedway. And one day we pulled probably a dozen cars out that they had just buried in the woods. And I don't crush anything that's savable, but these were old cars that the track had buried in the woods. And I mean, when I say there's nothing left, these things fall apart just like paper mache, like frames and all. You could literally take your hand and just crunch the frame. There's nothing left. So things in the woods don't preserve well at all. And it's amazing how well that bus held up.
Yes.
Wendy's asking how far the church is from you.
So it's well, it's about if I was to jump in on the interstate in a normal car, it'd probably take me almost 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 2.5 hours away. But in the bus, it's going to take me all day.
That bus got abandoned that far from that church.
Yeah. So I talked to the person that I bought the bus from. He bought the bus from, I don't know for sure, but I think he bought it from the church, or he bought it from somebody in the 80s and up there, and drove it down here, all that distance. And then it just sat. So he, even though it sat where I got it from for 25 years, it sat at another location for another 15 years before he moved it to that spot. So the guy I bought it from bought it 40 years ago and only drove it like 2 times. It just sat for the last 40 years. It's just been sitting most of the time.
Now, how much stuff with this bus, like how much works and how much doesn't, like the door opener and any of the electronics and gauges, like how much stuff that still works and what needs fixed?
None of the electronics was left working. But, most of everything was there, but just really rusty. The door, it's missing one bracket that rusted off, and that's keeping those 2 front doors from working in unison together. So one of them's floppy. It's missing one bracket. I might be able to find a replacement or fabricate something. It's missing one window out the back. But there, most of it was there. I did have to replace all the wiring and stuff, since then and stuff. But for something that's that old and been sitting that long, it's definitely it's benefit of the doubt to the bus, man. I like you're saying, most of the time when something sits that long, it just paper mache.
Colleen has a case of 3/8 clear fuel filters, so whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I just bought all 10 of them off the parts store, off the shelf, and I went through several of those already. So 3/8 fuel filters, I could use those, that's for sure.
Well, if y'all want, if you need help getting hooked up, Colleen, would you like for me to send Jason your email? I can do that. But I'm so proud of this community. I really am. They really want to see each other succeed.
I'm also running a fundraiser via PayPal that I put a link up on my YouTube channel on my last video, and I think in the about section too. And I also got my email address there and my post office box address there too. If anybody wants to help that way too, I appreciate it.
I think you were something around 500 or something on your fundraiser publicly, something like that.
Okay.
And, we're close. I think we got half of that tonight. So I'm
nice.
To death. This community is amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing how much they want to help each other. I've just never seen anything like it.
Well, I appreciate it. I've said the whole time that it's taken everybody to get this bus back on the road. It's more than just one person can do on their own. And it's something I've wanted to share with everybody and get everybody involved with. And, I think, a lot of people like to be involved on such a feel-good story. So that's why I kind of try to make it something like that.
It is cool. Wild Rose is saying you could put a big tractor type spin on fuel. That's not a bad idea. If your filters are getting clogged that fast, that may be worth doing before you head down the road that far.
Yeah, I do. I did drain the tank, and I had like 15 gallons of bad gas I drained out of there, but there's probably a smidgen of it left. I couldn't get it out. So I just threw in more gas with that. And I knew I was going to get rust coming through. But most of the rust has kind of stopped coming out of it. But now I'm getting like this little oily, residue coming with the gas. It's the fuel filters look like a bad lava lamp.
Oh, wow.
So that must be a little bit of that varnished gas that I'm
Yep.
still pulling through. And I don't know if it just keeps doing that. I may have to bypass it. I do have an old fuel cell from an off-road vehicle that I might be able to strap in the back there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, and I don't have any doubt you're going to get that bus there. You're determined.
Very determined.
You're determined. So any of you guys who can check that out, uh, that's going to be super cool. I plan on checking out the reunion. If you're streaming it, I'll try to drop in. Uh, I'm just
I'm
so glad
definitely
you're
gonna
doing that.
I'm definitely gonna film it, make a video out of it. I've always done my own videoing, my own video and editing and everything from my phone. I do have a GoPro. I could get a second angle while I'm driving, but this time I'm actually going to have a friend help me video, and him and his son, and they've got a drone as well. So it might be a little bit different. I don't know. We're kind of just shooting by the seat of our pants. We're not really sure, but we'll get video footage, and I'll try to make a good video out of it. I never really have too much planned out for my video. I just kind of video, and then I just kind of edit it together, and usually it works out. But until we're done, we don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, your content it's really real. You're just out there showing what you're doing in your life with your cars, and people respect that, and it's fine. It's great. Levi said, "Did I miss anything?" He was at a graduation party. Levi, there must have been 50 people saying, "I want to subscribe to Levi's Backyard Performance," but he's not here. I'll just maybe check in some other time. Levi, by the way, is at about 414 subscribers. He needs 86 more to go to the No Name Nationals. It would not be alive without Levi fretting over his subs. So good to see you, Levi. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Wild Rose is, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, some of the things that really got me off to a good start with subscribers. I got kind of lucky because, well, the bus itself, in where it was sitting, was captivating. Just seeing it like that, so that helped bring attention. But I was lucky because I shared that with the schoolie community. Everybody, that's kind of big.
Right.
All the people converting school buses into tiny homes and traveling. So I shared it with all of those folks on Facebook, which brought a lot of subscribers via the schoolie community on Facebook. Also, I share a lot. My first 300 subscribers, I think, came from a Facebook post I posted on creepy things found in the forest. I just had an image of that bus the way I found it, and I put it on creepy things found in the forest, saying, "Hey, I found this creepy bus in my backyard that I'm gonna go check out." And they all subscribed. They wanted to see what was inside of it and stuff.
Neat.
So I was able to cross with different genres of people, not just hot rodders and YouTubers, but the schooly people and the creepy stuff in the forest people. And so it's all walks of life kind of enjoyed this bus.
That's great. I love it. Levi says the party was for an important family member and had to come. Understand, man, that's great. Absolutely. But we do like to give you a hard time about your sub mining because it's just it's part of the fun. But no, I'm glad you're doing it, and we're glad that you came by here afterward. By the way, Nolan's here from Wild Rose Garage says pull the tank, fill it with diesel and a bunch of chain and shake it. Nolan is a guy who figures out a lot of cool tips like that work. He's one of our commenters that he knows a lot of stuff. He knows really good how-to tips that work from experience.
So I plan on doing that actually. I just was pressed for time, and I was kind of hoping that it would flow okay. I kind of knew that I'm going to be fighting a dirty tank. And I probably will do that after the trip is over and I could have more time, because I've done that before on an old car. Me and my buddy took an old tank and we just filled it full of nuts and bolts and just shook it around for 20 minutes. And then, it cleans it out. That's for sure.
Yeah. You know how it goes. You have all these redundant systems to get there. I'm confident you're going to make it with the bus. You're covering your bases. It's going to happen.
I've thought it through.
And I'll tell you, I'll say this, if you needed help, if we have any members of the community who live along the route or you're local to that church, go out and enjoy the event, go see them. And who knows, if you need help, maybe there will be members of our community who live right there. I'm probably about 900, 3,000 miles away, but I help how I can from here.
Well, I'm gonna be going up. So I live about center Oregon, and Portland's up towards the north. And I'm gonna be going all the way up Willamette Valley, probably going up Highway 99 east, more of a or Highway 99 west. Either of those are back roads, so I could go at a slower rate. And yeah, it's going to take me all day going up that way. And then the church is in Wilsonville, which is right outside of Portland, and they're making it a public event. They're having a barbecue and a live band and stuff, so everybody's welcome.
So this it's in Wilsonville. So in the state, describe geographically where that is. So you say you're in about the center of the state. Where's Wilsonville?
Up towards the north.
Toward the north. Okay. So
yeah, because like Portland's at the top of the state, and Wilsonville is just right outside Portland city limits. When you get out into the countryside,
that's what I was trying to figure. The only place in Oregon I've ever been is Lakeview. So I drove up through California, and part of it from Reno, and went just across, 5 miles across the line is Lakeview, Oregon. And that's an interesting place. It's the only part of Oregon I've ever seen, but it was cool. So
yeah, it's pretty desolate out there. A lot of like high desert, I think.
Yes, it is the high desert. And when I've been to Lakeview, some interesting things I noticed. So first of all, the town is like you're back in time about 40 years. Everything's local. The big franchises have not come in there yet. It's still kind of scaled down. There are mule deer everywhere. Just walking through the neighborhoods, through the supermarket parking lot, mule deer, and those things have velvet antlers 7-8 feet high. And they'll just walk through the parking lot of the grocery store, and people putting groceries in, don't even look at them. That's how common they are. It's unbelievable. And the cars. I saw a square body Chevy truck from about a 75, 6, something like that. Had a snowplow on the front and no rust. And you could tell it was the original paint. It was a two-tone paint job, no rust at all. So they get snow up there because the place where I was going, Thunder Ranch, they show pictures with snow, but it's not much. They don't treat the roads. It's a bizarre place like that. It gets cold, but there's no salt. It is the desert, and the average age of a car there's got to be 20 years older than here. I could not believe how many daily driven cars from the 70s and 80s, and this was in 2017. Could not believe how old the cars were. I was just driving through a neighborhood, and there was a guy that had a 60s Dodge truck that he'd done a Cummins swap on, and he drove the thing daily. And all kinds of daily driver 70s, 80s cars all over this place. I know it sounds weird, but if you wanted to take a trip to Oregon just to take a time machine on old cars, that's where I would go. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad place to buy a car either. You don't think of Oregon as being a place to find rust-free cars, but that town sure is.
They're out there.
Streetcar Chronicles in the house. Ed's machine is here. Always good to see Ed. I'm going to try to have Ed on a live here soon. Any guys have any last questions? Because we don't want to keep Jason hostage. I really appreciate all your time, man. And you can hang out all you want with us, but we know you're ducking the boss man.
Yeah, I see my coworker out there now, so it's probably time for me to head back.
All right, man. Well, we really appreciate you. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll have you back on sometime when you can come on again. Definitely. I really appreciate it, John. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. I'm going to hang out with you guys a little while longer because I got someone else to bring in here in just a second with you guys. So we'll see you, Jason. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you, man. All righty. Now, Big Mike, do you want to jump in if you're still in here? Because I know that Big Mike had something he wanted to promote, and we'd love to have him jump in if he wants. I really appreciate Jason being able to get in. I'm going to hang out just a little while longer and see if Mike wants to jump in. Barrows, if you would, because I don't see Mike here. Barrows, if you would, can you shoot Mike a message? I just want to make sure. Don, I'm going to have an update to you very soon. Very soon. There's stuff going on there very soon. there's stuff going on and a couple little things I need to go on. All right, cool. All right, Mike. I just sent you the link. Jump in at your leisure. Yes, Dawn, I'm well aware. I think about it regularly. I've got stuff going on. I'll be in touch with you very soon. There's stuff going on with that tomorrow. We got it, Bear Rose. Appreciate you. All right. Unfinished project. When are we going to get you on live, man? I'd love to have you on. He was thinking about it one day, but we would really love to have you on. Yeah, and also I'll plug this. Dust Devil has I think he's pretty much moved his live show to Friday. It's a different flavor of show, and it's definitely oriented toward a more older crowd. I say older crowd. Put the kids to bed first, but it's a good show, and he runs a good live over there. It's very entertaining, and check it out. Usually he has regulars on there like Jed. He has guys in there like Rob Z. So anyway, and Tall John, and then sometimes I pop in there. So anyway, if you want to head over to Dust Devils after that, he'll be live. Right now, we have Big Mike.
Hola.
Hey, Mike, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been almost a day.
Last night we get together with Mike and get over that 500 mark. That was exciting.
Man, I'll tell you, I was on pins and needles.
Watching that thing creep up over 5, that was a lot of fun. And now we got you on for a different purpose. Tell folks what you're doing now.
Well, so I've been telling everybody I was going to have a contest. And so I want to go ahead and do my contest right here on John Wilburn's channel. Because if it wasn't for John and Dallas and Buzz, we wouldn't be here. And, I really appreciate everything you've done for us, man. And so I won't hold y'all up. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out the rules to this contest. Right. And I'm going to let you know how we're going to win and what we're going to win. And I wrote everything down here so I don't mess it up.
This is cool.
All right. So this is going to be for the opportunity to name the 51 Coronet, because it's the only one in my fleet of hoopties that doesn't have a name yet. It's just hoopty number 1 for now. And the winner, the grand prize winner, will also get my very first t-shirt, my very first stickers, remember, my merchandise is not merchandise. Mine is gifts. I'm not selling my merchandise. I'm not out here looking to peddle my wares. So all this is going to be limited edition stuff. Maybe some year in the future, I might get to that point, but I doubt it. So, and first place is going to win that. Second place will win a t-shirt and a sticker. Third place will win a t-shirt, and all the way down to fourth place, you'll win a sticker. And so here are the rules to the contest. What I need all of you to do is I need all of you to go to the video that I'm going to put up here in just a few minutes. I'm going to put up a little short. And between now and our live tomorrow night with Bear Rose Garage, I'm going to be on Bear Rose Garage on his channel tomorrow night to announce the winner.
Okay.
Between now and then, I need you to put down in the comments the name of the car and why you picked that name. And the comment that gets the most likes between now, between when I upload this video here in just a few minutes, as soon as we're done with this, between then and when we go on live with Bear Rose, whoever gets the most comments is going to win. Whoever gets the second most comments is going to be in second place. Likes in their comment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Likes.
Whoever gets the most likes on their comment is going to win. And then second, third, fourth. And so all I can say is good luck, man. And give me
everybody. That's a really equal way to do it too.
Yeah, exactly. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I just want to grab these shirts and stickers so people can see what they're looking at.
So here's a hot tip for you guys. The way Mike's doing this, if you want to have the best chance of winning, get your comment in early. So as soon as that video gets up, be thinking about it, get your comment up early. And for those of you watching this on replay, I'm going to link his video below here. So if you're watching it now, obviously you can go over to Bear Rose's channel. You know where to go, but I will put a link to it underneath of this as soon as this live is over, as soon as Mike posts it, of course.
All right. So here is the t-shirt in black.
Look at that.
Right?
Sketchy is relative. I like that.
Here is the t-shirt in white.
All right.
Okay. And these are the stickers.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. So
Nice.
That's what the contest is for. And as soon as we get done here, I'm going to pop out to the shop. I'm going to upload this short, and we're going to find us a winner.
Sounds great. By the way, Destroyer 1320 puts another $20 on there, and that's going to go to Jason's fuel fund. If you're just joining us, if you just happen to be just joining us, we had Jason from Country Boy Gas Garage, and we raised a good little chunk of gas money for him to get his church bus reunited with the church it used to serve, which is clear across the state. He's driving it there next Saturday. And so anyway, that's going toward that. But Destroyer, thanks so much for that. We appreciate it. So in other words, but here's the thing, that shirt there, the 11th one coming here.
Oh, I've already got a special plan for that one too.
Oh, and I got a lot of real estate for these channel stickers.
Oh, so, yeah. Don't worry. There'll be one of those too.
All right. We got to get Big Mike Hoopty Barn up on the board.
And also, after I get my prize winners and I get these sent out, all of you channels who have sent me stickers, you'll be getting one back in the mail here directly. And then if you want one, hit my email up on my homepage on my channel if you're one of our content creators, and we'll see if we can't do some sticker exchanges.
Destroyer is extremely generous. He threw another 25 in there. Thanks a lot, man. That's going to really help Jason. I know that Jason's a working guy. He's got a family, and he's digging in his pocket to make that happen with the church. And I think it's cool. So I thought, it'd be great just to see if there was any community help out there for him. And that's awesome. Stay away from that number, Wilbur. Stay away from what number? 11 is my favorite number. And Brian, this is for you. You know that Dust Devil Brian, this calendar is for you.
And it's 11 no matter which side you read it on.
That's right. That's right. It is number 11. I have to even keep 11 handy. 11's is my favorite number. We had an Office Max that went out of business here. They closed the store down. And I walked in the store because I got a couple things for the shop, like little rolling carts and stuff for the shop. And this was just laying in the middle of the floor, and I have no idea what it went to. And I asked the guy, I said, "Hey, man, what's the story on that?" He says, "Oh, you can have it." So it's just my favorite number, and here it is. So I got my 11 for I don't know what.
There you go. Fantastic.
It's my favorite number on it, so it's an office fixture.
Fantastic.
Well, you've got Mike's info, and we can hang out a few minutes, but we'll wrap this live up just whenever, unless you guys have any more questions. Anything you want a question you got for Big Mike's a good time to ask it. He's not on my live often, but he's been on it twice in 24 hours.
And it was Junior Johnson's number. There you go. How about that?
Look at this. We have some smart people in here. 111 is 7 in binary. Roadkill Customs. Thanks for tallying that, Buzz. It's hard to do on the fly while you're watching, so I appreciate you doing that.
That is awesome.
So just so you guys who know it came in second shift, anything that you do with super chat, I'm gonna do it in gross, whatever that number is, over to Jason so that he can make that trip happen. I like to try to give him a little comfort margin, on that trip, because it's not easy for anybody, but I'm glad he's doing it.
Well, so now, I didn't really have a number before, but now I guess it's got to be 21.
Yeah, well, you are number 21, 21st channel to cross the finish line. Channel number 21, and Bubba Ayers is hot on your heels. We got Bubba, we got Mongrel's Garage, and Levi. Any of those three could be next. It's almost a heat. We got Bubba and Levi, and between the two of them, they're only about 50 subs apart. So it could be, or it could be Scott with an S. Scott with an S could do something to get about 100 subs and just pass them all like that, and it could be Scott out of nowhere. Heavens Mopars. Is Mr. Rodder's neighborhood here? Did Dallas? Did you sneak in? Sure did. Dallas Brown.
Hi, Dallas.
Dallas and I have been making some progress. Going to have some cool things to tell you guys on Friday about the No Name Nationals we've been working on. Lots of fun.
Cool. Thank you too, Dallas.
Buff's Garages, I don't have anything ready to go to the No Name Nationals. Do you have yourself ready? Because we're hoping you will come and enjoy it. I mean, anybody can come spectate. Oh, look at this. Dallas has the Suburban back in action, and now he's wiring up the switch pitch controller. So Dallas has a TH400 with a switch pitch torque converter, and it's very different. He probably has the only one in a Suburban anywhere in the world, so that's going to be worth checking out. Yeah, so Buff's Garage is he's ready and lives on the other side of the state. Well, come on, man. We got a lot of people from the other side of Missouri. Mike, how far away are you from Sykeston?
I am 5.5 hours, 381 miles.
Okay. Yeah, we've got guys from different parts of the state in Missouri and people from everywhere, but it's practically a home field game for Big Mike and Mopar Man 78 and Buzz.
Yeah, me and Mopar Man in 1978 might just hook up at Branson and head that way.
Hey, Buzz, we can bring that up on Friday. But, yeah, we're hoping that the spectators will really turn out. It's different. I mean, there's not been an event like this just for spectators before. There's actually been a couple that are similar as far as the spectator side goes, but not one designed around these content creators, because the others have been invitation only. It's a little bit different. Dust Devil says, "Do I get the short haul award?" What is it, like 2 hours for you, Brian? It's a short commute for you.
Well, I don't know. Dizzy Izzy's pretty close too, right?
Dizzy Izzy's a local.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think he gets the short drive alert award.
Dizzy will get the short drive alert.
I think he could hitchhike over there.
Yeah, you know what? Don't encourage him. He was panhandling for subs last weekend. Maybe he'll be hitchhiking this weekend. Pharaoh's Garage. Hey, man, thanks a bunch. We appreciate it. Thanks. Anything today goes to Jason in gross. 2.5 hours away. Well, it's going to be a home game for Brian's going to be able to, just crash and get up that morning and whatever he wants to do. Yes, this is something that we're talking about. We have a billboard on the Jeffers property. It is 12 by 40 feet. So nice. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. It's on I-55. We're getting ready to make a big splash out there. No, Mopar Man 78's a little farther than that. He's more to the other side of the state, but he's down in the southern part. I think that's where he is. He's near Branson.
Yeah, he's just about 45 minutes from me.
Okay. Yeah, Dust Devils as I get to sleep in. TMO Par 67, he's 4 or 5 hours away. Yes, he's close too. Oh, look at this. He says, my all-wheel drive Trans Am could be ready for the next one. Well, make it happen, man, because you should have this plus 300 plus more days. We don't know exactly what the date will be. Levi says, if he sends me anything to stick in the ground, I'll stick flyers everywhere, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, man. Oh, man, we have a Jed Scott sighting.
Well, by golly, old Jed.
Jed's in the house.
Heck yeah.
Andy's here. Andy's got vacation for the whole week. I hope you're not using your vacation to get Casper ready. That's all I gotta say. I hope you're got your test passes and got things sorted out pretty good ahead of time.
I need Jed to shoot me an email, give me an address so I can get him a sticker back.
Yeah.
He put the very first sticker on the Coronet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And by the way, any of you guys, when you're trying to coordinate with another channel, let me know and I'll get you guys email addresses. So if you ever need something like that, like you just say, hey, I want to do something with this channel, how I get to, I'll at least try to get your email addresses if I have them. I'm always glad to do that.
Well, it was
Jed turns out for Big Mike.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a huge honor to have him put the very first sticker on the Coronet. And so I got to get him a sketchy sticker for Jezebel.
Is anyone convoying to Jeffers with me and John? Mr. Rodgers is asking. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing that day. I know that probably my midpoint of the travel is going to be Central Tennessee. So my guess is I'll come early enough so I can hang out with my uncle. He lives near the Nashville area and stay there. And then that next day will be my day when I haul in from Central Tennessee. Andy Wood is saying anyone headed west to the event we can convoy. Yeah, Andy is in Central North Carolina. He's in the Charlotte metro area.
North Carolina, I think that's where JB's little shop is too, isn't it?
He is in the central northern part of Tennessee.
Oh,
so
JB's shop was over there.
Yeah, he's above Nashville, but he's in the central part.
Oh, okay.
We'll get you set up, Jed. Convoy. I hope Hoosier's Garage is convoying. He's got a CB. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll get you an email address for Jason Barrows so that you guys can get hooked up. You guys might be able to work together on that. Just Mopar Joe's asking Jed, which car are you bringing to the No Name Nationals? Jed says, howdy, howdy to all in the chat. Heavens Mopars, I think the way I would do this, because some people have registered on emails that maybe they use for work or different stuff. Maybe we can make a pool where people can submit their email addresses for that. That would be great. Because there's a lot of channels who just don't have them on their about and contact info. So that'd probably be a good way to do it. Either that or just to encourage every channel. If you have a place to put your email address, you have a place to put your email address on your channel. It's a good place to put it so these other content creators can get a hold of you. But if not, we can probably put together like a pool or something. That'd be a cool way to do it. Ruben says, Destroyer, you're flying in, but do you want to race my Roadrunner against anybody? Well, hey, that's pretty cool. Destroyer 1320. I don't know what Andy's guessing. He may be trying to guess his suggestions for hoopty names there. Those aren't bad. Wendy, Levi's trying to complete Don's wardrobe. I believe he has an LVP hat. That's pretty cool. Here's a link to Jed's channel, Scott Speed Shop. Joe put up. Thanks a bunch. And I think I saw that fly by. Jed's saying Duster's 340 won't be together, so it will more than likely be Jezebel. Okay, cool, man. Well, you know what? I mean this. That's the same thing I told Jason. To me, this event is about getting to see everybody and meet everybody in person. It's a homecoming. It's a family reunion for the content creators. Any cool hardware they bring with them, to me, is a bonus. So I'm sure some people, especially the spectators, are going to turn out. A lot of them want to see the hardware, and that's great. I want to meet the people, and seeing the hardware is a nice bonus. Dallas is got his switch pitch controller to drag race mode. Oh, man. What's Dallas's Suburban going to run if he makes a pass in it? Wendy's telling Levi, just in case Levi's not catching the comments, I'll pause it there for him. Thought Andy was looking for CB. Okay, there you go. That makes more sense. There you go.
I just thought he was quoting from the song Convoy.
Unless I buy a particular 1968 race Barracuda in Nebraska and it gets a particular Hemi in my garage, but I don't need a race car. Well, if it works out, that'll be interesting. Unfinished project is saying 17 seconds. If Dallas's Suburban runs 17 seconds in the 8th, he might as well just get out and walk. That's
I was gonna say
golf cart territory.
If it'll do that, then I might have to race him in the hoopty.
Oh, look out. Buzz is saying he'll put together a convoy coordination point. More to follow. Well, that's interesting. Yes, and that's what it's all about, Barrows. I want to get to meet everybody. You got to realize this event is going to have more people there whom I would love to meet in person than I could ever have gone out to meet in my lifetime. Like if I planned 6 trips a year, like every 2 months to meet all these content creators, I couldn't live a long natural lifespan enough to go see them all. And so this way, it actually makes that happen. And that really is the point to me. But it turns out a lot of other people want to do it too. By the way, fun. Jed is assembling the Pro Stock. We're looking forward to that. It does look interesting.
That is one bad engine there, man. That
he's got some wicked hardware there.
I'm telling you.
Mr. Rodder's guessing 9 8. That's probably about right. That thing's heavy, but it'll move. It's no slouch. Yes, CW call was head convoy. You are correct. Well, come on, Levi. Come on, that thing moves better than that. His white truck moves good too. That little thing will scoot.
Big Mike, let's trade. Perfect.
Just Mopar Joe is saying if Dizzy makes it up to Newport, they can film together. You know what, Dizzy? That's actually a good opportunity. If you can film a little bit and do something with Joe, that would really help you get your subs.
There you go.
And this nothing wrong with this. Hang out, make a couple passes, but hanging. Yeah, that's what the event. Yeah, good plan. Because I'm telling you, this is going to be like a hanging out, cooking on the grill.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, you got it.
Big Mike's all about the eating part.
Oh yeah, there's going to be all kinds of good stuff going on. And you know what? I'll get to be anonymous for the event because I'm going to bring my dog. And I mean, with him, he's a rock star. So it's like there are literally more people where I bank that know my dog than know me. I took him in there today. There were people coming out of their offices in the back up to the teller window to greet him. It's crazy. I take him to the event. No, I mean, I can be just incognito. They'll all be hanging out with him.
Still on for the steak cook-off? Well, I'll tell you what. You bring your steak, and I'm going to bring some wild boar brats, and we'll cook.
Yeah. Joe is saying if you make it to Arkansas, have some supreme barbecue.
By golly. Well, I ain't too far.
Dallas saying No Name National is going to be a 2-day hangout for the YouTube automotive content creators, a 2-day pit party and fun session. Exactly. We all like
That's what I'm
cars.
talking about.
We have a dragway and we all like cars, but the idea is fun. And then the racing thing, you can do what you want with it, and you can be as serious as you want. And yeah, do what you want with it. It's cool.
And hopefully before then, all the drama will be weeded out.
Oh, man. I got to say, though, overall, considering the nature of YouTube, where people invest themselves into content creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot less than you probably would have guessed what we'd have by this point in the season.
Yeah.
And I think that more of the drama that we've had, what little bit it really isn't that much, but what little bit we've had has been probably more related to the stresses of life and trying to get ready for an event. And it just manifested itself in kind of a drama way. But overall, the community is doing really well. You consider if you have hundreds of channels that have themselves and their likeness and their personalities invested in content creation to be coming together and working together as well as they are, it's really amazing. I bet you if you had any other event, like, I don't know, you had a 200 channel basket weaving convention, you probably have more drama than we do right now, just because this community overall has been exceptional, better than any other community on YouTube.
Well, I've really enjoyed it so far. Like I said, I only started in December, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I've been telling people, all of us guys that have the subs, we were all No Name 500 guys at one time. Andy Wood and I were saying that 2 years ago, we were No Name 500 guys. We were No Name 500 guys before it was cool. Ruben, I have no idea. That might be dangerous, which makes it even cooler. I have no idea. That's kind of neat idea, but what I don't want is people shooting stuff off in the pits, because that could get really sketchy in a hurry.
Yeah.
Zero G, this is keeping me sane. Well, good, man. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Levi's at 417. Good. Levi's got 83 more to go, and then he will finally sleep. Did you know that Levi hasn't slept since about February?
I believe it. I have to apologize to him. I'm sorry, Levi, because I saw a comment that you made, after 113 cycles, got, number 20. And you said, well, that's okay. I'll go for my new goal of number 21. So I apologize, but, a little.
This is what happens when you worry about your subs for months.
But I think you're a great guy. Yeah.
That's what happens when you worry too much. You become radioactive.
There you go.
It was great.
So that's the thing. I just like interacting and having fun, man.
Yeah, so he was at least 7 hours a night. Bub says I was No Name and had to change the name because you got a name.
I need at least 7 hours a week.
Joe was telling Buzz that he found a good group. I agree. I agree. We are so fortunate to have Buzz. This is a wonderful group. My Aunt Nancy's subbed to Levi. All right, Levi. Got to deliver some good content for my aunt. And my aunt's going to deliver some good content for you. I've got some video of her I'm going to put up on my channel when I can. And now that I've been here for a few weeks and taken a break from working on the old house, I'm catching up on a lot of that stuff. I downloaded a bunch of files, raw files, for doing that video with my aunt in it. So you guys will enjoy that.
Well,
look at this. I want to see this. Joe's trying to jump some Coors Light cans on Sunday with the Barracuda. Well, you do that, Joe.
We probably just do that on takeoff in that thing, man.
Dan, I've got stuff going on with that tomorrow. My channel's not really real time. I'll record stuff, release it later. I don't do as much because here's the thing. The stuff I do really real time are these lives. but my content rarely ever gets put out to the real time. Sometimes I'll film a couple things, then release them kind of in sequence. So I'm not real wired that way. But yes, stuff going on with that tomorrow. Levi's at 418. Well, Levi, when you get close, when you get up around 480-ish like Mike did, I would love to have you on live, and we'll get a little bit of networking going on and see if we can find 20 more people in this world that don't know that you need your subs. And if we
Are there 20 people that don't know?
I would say somebody in Eastern Bongo Squeegee somewhere does not know that Levi needs a sub and will subscribe.
Well, fantastic. Well, hey, I hate to cut it, but I got to get out here and I got to make my short if you guys want to win.
You do, and it's time for us to wrap up anyway. We're right at the 2-hour mark, so this just works out. I want to thank the mods. I want to thank Joe, Andy. I want to thank Fubar, Blake from Bad Tree, and Buzz. And real quickly, we're going to plug that on June 17th, a week from tonight, I'm going to be live with Dallas. We're going to have some announcements to make. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a special guest. You don't want to miss that. And Mike's contest, I'm going to post a link to the short he's going to put up here in a minute. I'm going to post it below this video. So if you're watching it on replay, you can click there to find it. And do you need to plug anything else, Mike?
No, I think that's it. Just make sure that you got to get in there, man, and make a comment. And, unfinished project, I think you're going to have some competition this time. So, all right, guys. Well, good luck to everybody, and I can't wait to start sending out prize packs.
All right. Sounds good. Y'all have a good evening.
All right. See you guys.